everyone, welcome to English course with me Winta. Today, we will learn about simple present tense. By watching this video, you are expected to be able to understand and make sentences with simple present tense. So, let's move to the material.
Alright, let's start from the definition of simple present tense. The simple present, also called present simple, is a verb tense which is used to talk about general truth, habits and routines, and situations that are more or less permanent. First of all is general truth. The examples of general truth: number 1, the ice is cold, and number 2, a dog has 2 eyes. As you can see here, the first sentence and the second sentence use simple present tense because they show the facts. Okay, for the next one is habits and routines. The example of habits and routines: number 1, we eat every day. Number 2, Honey always does her homework. The first sentence and the second sentence use simple present tense because they show habits and routines. The last one is the situations that are more or less permanent. The examples of situations that are more and less permanent: number 1, Julia lives in Korea. Number 2, Hilwa is a college student. The first sentence is using simple present tense because it shows the situation that is more permanent, and the second sentence is using simple present tense because that is show the situation that is less permanent. In this part, I will explain about the verb forms of simple present tense. The verb forms of simple present tense divided into 2. Main verb and auxiliary verb. The sentence that uses the main verb as its part is called verbal sentence. The sentence that uses the auxiliary verb as its part is called nominal sentence. Here is the example of verbal sentence. They watch a movie. The subject in this sentence is they, and the verb 1 in this sentence is watch. The object of this sentence is a movie. Here are some examples of subject. And here are some examples of verb 1. And here are some examples of object. Okay, for the next one is nominal sentence. Here is the examples of nominal sentence. I am a student. The subject in this sentence is I. The auxiliary verb or to be that used in this sentence is am. And the object of this sentence is a student. The sentence use am as the auxiliary verb because the subject is I. If the subject is I, the to be must be am. And if the subject are you, they, and we, so the to be must be are. If the subject is she, he, and it, the to be must be is. In this slide, I will explain about formulas of verbal sentences. There are 3 formulas. The first one is positive formula, the second one is negative formula, and the third one is interrogative formula. Let's start from positive formula. The positive formula is subject plus verb 1 plus s or es. If the subject is I, you, they, or we, the verb that used is only verb 1. If the subject is she, he, or it, the verb that used is verb 1 plus s or es. The next one is negative formula. The negative formula is subject plus don't or doesn't plus verb 1. If the subject is I, you, they, or we, the negative marker that used is don't. And if the subject is she, he, or it, so the negative marker that used is doesn't. The last one is interrogative formula. The interrogative formula is do or does plus subject plus verb 1. If the subject is I, you, they, or we, the interrogative marker that used is do. And if the subject is she, he, or it, the interrogative marker that used is does. In this slide, I will give examples of verbal sentences in three forms: positive, negative, and interrogative. Starting from positive form. Remember, the formula for positive form is subject plus verb 1 or verb 1 plus s or es. Now, look at the examples. Number 1. We study English. In this sentence, only verb 1 is used because the subject is we. Okay, for example number 2. She reads the book. In this sentence, the verb that used is verb 1 plus s because the subject is she. For the next one is negative form. The formula for negative form is subject plus don't or doesn't plus verb 1. Now, look at the examples. Number 1. We don't study English. In this sentence, the negative marker that used is don't because the subject is we. Number 2. She doesn't read the book. In this sentence, the negative marker that used is doesn't because the subject is she. The last is the examples of verbal sentences in the interrogative form. Once again, remember, the formula for interrogative form is do or does plus subject plus verb 1. Now, look at the examples. Number 1. Do we study English? In this sentence, the interrogative marker that used is do because the subject is we. Number 2. Does she read the book? In this sentence, the interrogative marker that used is does because the subject is she.
Okay everyone, that's all about our today's topic. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.